Mm. Testing. Okay, it's working. Got it calibrated? Perfect. Thanks, everyone. I think it's time to get started. I'm not standing up here at the micro to do karaoke, but I'll give it a go if it gets boring. So thanks, everyone. It's awesome to see the attendance here today. It's a really big day for us as the Cape Town Stock Exchange. So let me just start with a good morning to Premier Alan Winde, to the board members and executive of TWK, analysts, shareholders, my board, and lots of friends, and in our terms, family for the Cape Town Stock Exchange. Someone said to me, who says size doesn't matter? A short while ago, we set off on a journey. Start a small exchange. It seems like a good business. There's a lot of hard work that comes with being an exchange. And if someone told me I was really stepping off on a tech journey that was going to be about a real rare construct, I'll tell you what, I'll talk without it. Everyone can hear me. We set off on that journey. Being below. Is it working now? Okay. But we set off on that journey to go down, set ourselves off at the bottom of Cape Town Mountain. And the reason we did it was we saw within the city of Cape Town, a city that was looking to embrace technology, was looking to embrace new businesses, was looking to tackle the unemployment problem. We wanted to be an exchange that was going to list small companies, SMEs, mid-caps. We genuinely wanted to go target companies that were interested in growth. And the only way we're going to get growth is by making those underlying investments, getting capital transformation to work, getting capital to move from savings and moving into businesses that are going to grow our underlying South Africa Incorporated and the broader economy as a whole. We're fortunate enough today to have with us TWK, one of the companies who've expressed a confidence in us, and to do the first listing on the Cape Town Stock Exchange. It's a great feeling to be able to stand here today to launch the Cape Town Stock Exchange and to launch a company that's very involved in underlying job creation, food security, machinery finance, forestry assets. The shareholders and owners of TWK are largely the underlying producers who produce their underlying feedstock. That says an exemplary amount about what the company does and what the company is looking to achieve. And more importantly, it's a company that's got a growth objective and looking to raise further capital to expand their business into the future. Those are the companies we're trying to attract. The other thing the City of Cape Town does for us is it's built a real legacy of trying to build out the whole Silicon Cape technology initiative, what it means around companies working in that space. We need to solve the problems of tomorrow with technology, with innovation, with applying our minds, our innovation, deriving the skills development. And the only way that real skills development occurs is when we're practicing and when we're innovating and when we're trying to do things differently. So with that in mind, for ourselves, our journey was about digitize, democratize, demonetize finance. We think we've come up with a solution that saves issuers, saves investors significant amounts in terms of cost, risk, time, and complexity. And we're going to keep that focus in place. We're going to keep working as an exchange around those issues and solving those problems on their behalf. The last thing I want to touch on is just a small bit of our business called our registry. Why do we have the registry in place? Doing a listing is not just about getting your company listed. It's not just about raising capital. With it comes a huge responsibility around disclosure, around environmental, around social, around your governance concerns. Our registry business is there. It's digitized. It's set up to handhold the issuers and carry them through that post-listing process. Everything related to their shareholders, their disclosure, their governance, what they're doing at their virtual AGMs, e-voting, proxy solicitation. The list is endless. And those costs eventually become the prohibitive and the real inhibitor stopping them from listing. We think we've solved that problem and allow them to go forward without the complexity attached to the post-listing. So with that in mind, it's been for ourselves a 4-year journey since 2017, since when we did our first listing, which was NWK, also a cooperative. From that point in time, we've listed Assupol in the insurance sector. We've listed iHealth, the medical group of companies. We've listed Gaia, which was the first renewable energy fund. And today we're going to list TWK. I see the growth in that underlying sector as a 2 trillion market space, a 2 trillion market space that no one's tapping into. Only 15% of those companies are covered by the JSE. They have the same needs as any of the larger companies. And more importantly, those very companies are invested and located within South Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa. They don't derive their earnings from offshore. The investments aren't going from here to offshore. They invested into the local economies and growing them out. So I'm glad to see today we've not just got our shareholders, but issuers, investors, analysts. There's a plea from ourselves, which is we need to start covering these companies. We start giving them the due and care, start giving them the attention they deserve. They're out there on risk. They're trying to make a difference every day. And I think there's an incumbent responsibility on all of us to put that focus and put the attention and put the spotlight onto them for a change and reward them as those underlying innovators, entrepreneurs, and the ones trying to make a difference. So I'm glad to say that I'm standing here today and a 120-year journey has gone full circle and Cape Town finally has a stock exchange again. Thanks. Premier, I don't know where he's standing, but if the Premier, thank you. If we can just give the Premier a warm welcome. I can't express enough my gratitude to the Premier's office, to the Wesgro, to the City of Cape Town. Their support that they've given us over the last 4 months has been immensely powerful in terms of us getting this done. I don't think we would have got this done without their help, and the Premier himself has been the biggest supporter in this journey.
Thank you. Great, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can you all hear me on this? Okay, thank you very much. It is really an honor and a privilege to be here today. I was sort of reflecting back a little bit to our last meeting on the balcony up at Leeuwenhof. And, just that discussion of what we are experiencing here today was already a great move forward. But standing here in this very building, for me, is I think something that really is a massive milestone in, I want to look at the back there and think about a massive milestone in what was set up many years ago as an incubator, as an ecosystem developer. And can I tell you that launching of a Cape Town Stock Exchange in this very building is a massive, massive milestone. It is a huge leap forward. I think from a business confidence point of view right now, it is so very, very important. So thank you very much for what you've done in getting us to this stage. I also want to say as Cape Town Stock Exchange, you obviously had quite a lot of influence because you even got a hotel built for you before you even launched, which was pretty good. But that talks about the ecosystem that was thought about so many, many years ago. I actually asked if Joanne Johnson was here from DDAT, and she's not apparently. But I go back 12 years, Joanne Johnson talking about how setting up something called a bandwidth barn is going to enable a new ecosystem of the future economy. And, this space and what it has achieved over time is actually quite phenomenal. And we actually need to start almost measuring it in milestones. Of course, this one being a massive milestone. I don't know if people actually visualized a stock exchange being launched here back then, especially a stock exchange being launched at the sort of coming down of a third wave of a pandemic, when we really do need hope, where we really do need to start building business confidence in our region. And I think, I want to say thank you to those originators, those people whose names are not on the boards, who are not, normally recognized. I want to thank them for way back then really working on what do we think a future economy is going to look like and how do we enable it and what do we do to get those things going. And I want to recognize them, first of all, today. I also want to say that, the journey has created an ecosystem that has attracted an investment into a stock exchange called the Cape Town Stock Exchange. But in this journey, I mean, I think about the first fintech degree that could be done in the Southern Hemisphere. That was a milestone a couple of years ago on the route. I think about the guys that started off Silicon Cape. And when those initial conversations were had, I was actually sitting in an office with the previous premier and myself and a couple of techies from this region connected through to the US connecting Silicon Cape to Silicon Valley and talking about what we should be doing to create an ecosystem that creates the economy of the future. And what has been developed over time is exactly that, the Silicon Cape. And I think about there's 173 fintech companies right now that are based here, who have set themselves up and are shooting the lights out and doing amazing, amazing things. And I was so happy to walk in the door here and see your listing for today and seeing an agri company. I mean, see your banner, I'm not sure where you are from TWK, but your banner, there you are. Your banner with the sun shining through the middies was just quite amazing here in a building in Woodstock. And so it is a super exciting day today where an agri company is listing in an exchange here in Woodstock. And I think about the agri-businesses in our region, and of course we've just, as I said, come through this pandemic, but it's the agri-businesses that have been doing incredibly well here. I mean, our big issue as government, just as we were saying, what do we need to do about the future economy, and our challenges right now are talking about rail and how do we get our port ready for the explosion in agri-exports that are going to happen over the next 5 and 10 years. The hectares and hectares of planted new product that's going to be delivered to the world is way in excess of what our existing infrastructure capacity can deal with. And these are amazingly great problems to have because it talks about growth, it talks about opportunity, it talks about what this region can offer the world. And so the agri part really also excites me. But as we were walking in, I was talking about, I think, another opportunity. And, the two big employers in our region are agri and tourism. And, of course, we've seen that the tourism side has taken a huge knock. But I think the opportunities now are for those companies as well, is to start to stand up. And what better way than pull together, especially maybe a couple of SMMEs, and look at a bigger future and say, why don't we list on a stock exchange? But then, of course, it's also about the new tech and the future world that we are developing here in Africa. And I think the one other thing that COVID-19 has done for us as a government, it's enabled innovation. I mean, we have really done, for me, amazing things in government in very short periods of time that we've never been able to really do before. I mean, some of the things we did during this pandemic, like deliver medicines to households of poor communities. If I'd said to people before the pandemic, we are going to deliver to the elderly and people with comorbidities their medicine parcel to their home, our officials would have said it's impossible. But we pulled together some tech companies, some partners, some NGOs on the ground, and we've delivered more than 1.3 medicine parcels to citizens who normally would queue at a clinic from 4 o'clock in the morning, and now they get delivered their parcel at home. And these things have happened. We've built, in 8 weeks, we've built, the biggest field hospital in the world, and now we've turned that into a massive vaccine site. And we've done all these things far quicker than government have normally been able to do. So we've learned a hang of a lot. But I think what we've also learned is that this new way of work, and it's not often these days that I stand with a microphone in my hand with a whole lot of people looking at me. I've normally got a whole lot of camera images on my screen in front of me. So this is actually quite old-fashioned, but also quite unique. And one thing that I can say is actually quite amazing that we can do this. I've got a PCC a bit later with the president to talk about what is the future and where we're going to. And of course, what we need to do now is open the floodgates. We need jobs, jobs, jobs. That's the focus. and we've got to get things going. And what better thing to open today when I joined that meeting to say, Mr. President, I've just come from the opening of a stock exchange in Cape Town. Maybe it'll make him a bit jealous, but a stock exchange in Cape Town. And it is about business confidence. It's about jobs. It's about getting our economy back up and running again. And we've got to do it with massive urgency. We've got to take those learnings and this new environment that we all find ourselves in and say, well, what does this new world look like? And so it's not only the agri companies and the tourism companies that we need to list. We now need to really take that vision of the bandwidth barn right in the beginning and this new ecosystem for enabling tech companies. We need to take Silicon Cape's vision of those tech companies, and we need to say, how do we enable more and more tech companies? Because this new world is actually about those little faces on those screens on our computers, because people can work anywhere in the world now. And what better place than to work from here, than to work from this southern tip of Africa? So I want to say once again that it is an amazing day today. It is a huge opportunity. It is such a strong message for business confidence that you guys have chosen this time specifically to launch your business, and launch your listing, to show the world that right here in the southern tip of Africa, this is where things are happening. And this is where a massive future begins. So for me, I want to wish you all the very best for a very, very long journey. We're talking about a 120-year circle or something, but let's make sure we've got now 120 years of future in this company, of creating an ecosystem and an environment that boosts our economy, that creates massive opportunity for investors, that creates massive opportunity for entrepreneurs and business ideas to flourish and to develop new stuff. Because I think that's what we do. We've got a unique opportunity and ability. Our entrepreneurs here are creating businesses that shake the world. And we can now do it in this new world and in this new way from here, but actually not only just here. It's from here for the rest of our country, our continent, and for the world. So congratulations and all the very best. I would like to hear many bell ringings. I would like to see that your investment here really creates that platform for a brand new emerging entrepreneur grouping of people. I mentioned the number of fintech companies, but there's so many opportunities in agri-tech, in health tech, there really are so many opportunities going forward. And I think what you've done today with this launch is created that ecosystem for opportunity, that ecosystem for wealth creation, that ecosystem for funding of amazing entrepreneurs and amazing ideas. And I wish you all the very best for your journey forward. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alan. I was once told, bring me your biggest problems and I'll find the biggest opportunities. I think for ourselves, everyone told us there's a delisting progress happening. More companies are delisting than companies are listing. If I look at ourselves and our last journey over the last 18 months, in spite of COVID, we've only seen companies list. The numbers have been going up. So I don't know where that myth comes from, but it's definitely not something that's playing out here. We see the enthusiasm out there and looking to anchor on it. So with that in mind, I'd like to introduce all of you to Andre and Eddie from TWK. Yeah, they're going to talk us through a little bit about the TWK listing, about the company, and about their plans for TWK in the future. Thank you.
Morning. Thank you, Eugene. Today we are super excited, first of all, to be down here in Cape Town, but listing on the new Cape Town Stock Exchange. Eugene, thank you for allowing us or giving us the opportunity to be first today, to be listed on the Cape Town Stock Exchange. And in the future, we're going to look back on this historical moment to say that we were the first. And we like to be the first. As a company, we trying to be the first at everything. So thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to be the first company to list on the Cape Town Stock Exchange. You have to do this manually. So Just a quick glance of TWK. I actually need an hour to give you a glance of the company, but I only got 5 minutes, and Eugene is very strict on the 5 minutes. So please go to our website, look at the website, look at the circular that's on the website as well to understand TWK, because we are quite a dynamic company, and I think you must have a look. If you're anybody who's investing, if got a few cents to invest, please look at TWK. You'll see the growth that we achieved in the past, and also agriculture is where growth comes from. So we are very excited about our company, but I've only got 5 minutes, and now it's only 4 minutes, so I have to go. Just a quick look, you'll see everything in TWK happens in June and September. It's the important months for us. In June 1940, TWK was formed, and it was actually the wattle growers farmers that started TWK, and it was for marketing their wattle products. And then in September 2014, we restructured the company into its present form, where TWK Holdings is the ultimate holding company, and Investments is the listing company, and a company that we also listing today. We listed, first of all, on Zarex, and that we listed on June 2017 with a price of R12.35, a market cap of almost 433 million. We are a diversified company, and I think that's very important. We have different income streams. We are in agriculture, but we have different commodities, and even in that commodities, we have different markets, and that is what helps us to have profit even in tough times. Last year was the first year that we haven't been able to improve. On the past 10 years, we've been able to every year exceed the previous year's results. But still, we were able to have good profits and pay good dividends to our shareholders. So the divisions that we have is timber. That's our core business still, and that's where our biggest investments is also in. Then we have retail and mechanization. The retail is mostly for the inputs of farmers. Then we also have our grain division, our financial division. That's also where we have our financing and insurance departments. And then also we have motors and tires, because every farmer needs a Toyota. So we have to have that. We employ about just over 3,000 people, and that's very important to us. If you ask me if I have to sum up what TWK stands for, is making a difference. We want to make a difference to all our stakeholders and to the people in the communities where we live. So yeah, I mustn't get out of track here. I've got less time. So we have delisted from Zarex. Our shareholders we have voted 100% to move to Cape Town Stock Exchange. I think it sounds much more exciting to be in the Cape Town Stock Exchange than Zarex. So we have done that, and today we are so excited to be down here and that we can really list on the Cape Town Stock Exchange. This is just what our code is down there. John, just a bit about our issued shares in capital is that our ordinary shares, we have authorized 100 million, of which almost 39 million is issued at this stage. And the introduction price is 35 Rand. On Zarex, we have traded about 30 Rand 25. Last trade was about 30 Rand 10. But yeah, I think after today we'll be at 40 Rand. The market cap of almost 1.4 billion. Just the reasons for our listing down here. The Premier is here. They told us that if we list down here, we get the apartment with a sea view for free. So hopefully we get a key today. Eugene, that's right, eh? That's what you said. So. Oh, okay. But yeah, no, thank you. We're not only going to list on Cape Town Stock Exchange, we're also going to list on A2X. Why we do it is we really think that our ability to the ability and the liquidity of the trading of the shares will be much better. Then also strategically, I think that it's better for us to be on the Cape Town Stock Exchange and also on A2X, and promote the company's ability to raise capital. And I think Eugene also mentioned that we're also going to in the near future going to look to raise some capital also. and then providing additional protection to TWK shareholders, having access to the Cape Town Client Protection Fund, and then having a primary listing and a secondary listing with we think that the board has really see that sustainability financially for both of these exchanges in the future. Then just quickly, the strategy of TWK on a one-pager, just high level. Our strategy is about our stakeholders, our financial performance, our process excellence, our people transformation. At the bottom, you'll see our different values of growth, strive, renew, sustain, conserve, and develop. I think in our stakeholders, we have, if you're looking at our values, that we want to be the supplier of choice, we want to be the market of choice. And then also, if you're looking at financial performance, if you're looking at our values there, we want to be the investment of choice, we want to grow. We also have our 4 pillars, so that we say that we have our strategy built on is our focus on our customers, optimizing our value chain, improving operational efficiencies, and optimizing capital management. In process excellence, we also have our values there that is renew, sustain, conserve. And then our people in transformation, we strive to be the employer of choice and we want to develop. So that's just a quick overview of high level of our strategy. Then I think the most important thing is always the outlook. How does it look for South Africa? First of all, I want to say that TWK remains optimistic about agriculture and the future of agriculture in South Africa. I think there's so much opportunity, and I think the Premier has also mentioned it. If you see how it grows, the infrastructure have to keep up with what's happening in the agriculture, and there's lots of opportunities in agriculture. The view of the management is that the financial year ending August was our ending of our financial year, and we will substantially outperform previous year's results. I think it's going very well in Agri, and like I said, for the past 10 years, we've been able to achieve to grow the company and our performance year on year, except last year. But this year we are back on track and on that growth path of us. TWK remain well positioned for growth. Like I said, focus on projects across all segments with expansions, acquisitions, mergers, and strategic alliance. We will continue our efforts to obtain existing offerings. Strategic outcomes are evaluated annually. And then TWK remain focused on delivering the company's strategy, intent of growing profitability to all our stakeholders. And that's important to us. It's not only for shareholders, but all our stakeholders. We want to grow the profitability. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm going to give to our FD to give you a little bit more insight of our financial, and I think that's actually what you're looking for. Eddie?
Thank you, Andre. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you for attending this historic moment. Thank you for the opportunity to showcase TWK this morning to you guys. First of all, I would like to congratulate Eugene and your team for this big move into the right direction. I'm convinced that the market will welcome this move. The time is right for the new exchange, and I'm convinced that it will really benefit the community, the country, and even South Africa. I'm looking forward to reflect on the success that you guys will achieve on this exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, talking about success, TWK is not the only company that achieved success during the last couple of years. There's many success stories in this country. But just imagine if we can start focus on all the successes of this country. Let's just imagine if we can seek opportunities, grab that opportunities, and just see that leapfrog growth that we can really see, and the potential for this in South Africa. I'm positive of agriculture, positive about South Africa and the future of our economy. I think we as business people, if we can start focus on the positive, we can really build our country. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really not a politician, so let me rather focus on the facts of TWK, because I also just got a few minutes. TWK at a glance. What I want to present to you is the highlighted figures is the year-end results of August 2020, and I've also included the half-year results of 2021, which was end of February, and the comparison figures of 2020. What I really want to highlight is our EBITDA figure on this slide. In 2020, it was on 330 million. We've managed to come back to our normal figures to 202.5 million half-year results compared to 2020 half-year of 180 million. Just remember that February 2020 was just pre-COVID. So just keep that in mind, that there was already so the exceptional good growth after COVID again. If we look at cash from operating activities, 2020, 438 million. Already in 2021 mid-year, 194 million compared to 173 million 2020 half-year. Just remember also the cyclical nature of our agri-business, and normally in February the cash from operating activities will be on the lower side, but also great returns. Key financial indicators: revenue, February up with 0.2% compared to the February 2020 numbers. After mid-year, February 2021, we saw actually a big improvement in terms of our revenue due to new acquisitions that we've recently done, and also improvement in our exports, chips exports from our chipping plant in Richards Bay to Japan. In terms of profit before loyalty scheme payments, an improvement of 32.1%. When compared to the half-year results of last year. Profit after tax, improvement of 41.8%. Basic earnings per share, improvement of 44.4%. And like Andre mentioned earlier, it's really that same type of percentage that we are going to, or think that we're going to end this year. Total equity, continuous growth over the past couple of years. Net asset value per share, February it was at 42.42 rand. It's a bit lower than the year results because we've done an asset for share transaction, and the benefit of that transaction will only materialize in the last couple of months of the year. Our gearing ratio, it's a ratio that we constantly monitor and look at. In February it was 128%. For us, it's not a problem because of our business model that we on-lend to our farmers, and therefore we do have more debt on our balance sheet. But we're comfortable with those levels and be able to manage it. The share price, quite a success story in August. End of August was at 13 Rand, continuous growth till 35.10 Rand at the end of August. Also, we continue to grow our dividends to our shareholders. It was at 90 cents in August 19, a bit lower in August 2020 because of the COVID year, but still we've paid good dividends to our shareholders. Dividend cover continued to decline at 5, and we think that we will be able to manage those type of levels. Just in terms of our operating segments, I'm almost done, Eugene. The timber division, like Andre mentioned, is our biggest segment. Revenue of 1.8 billion in 2020. In the first half year of 2021, it was a bit down from the previous year, but like I mentioned earlier, the last 6 months we saw a big improvement in terms of our exports, and also from our additions that we've done recently. Retail and mechanization, we saw good returns and revenue the last 6 months, especially from sales from our fertilizer side. Then we've got our grain division, also strong results, and then our financial services division. Motors and tires, still struggling, especially on our fuel sites, but we are busy strategically to relook at the direction of those segments. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I've got time for. Please go and visit our website. All the information is there. Or if there's any other questions, welcome to talk to us afterwards. Thank you very much.
Tsepo, if you could come down for me, please. It's just our largest shareholder, Tsepo, is going to help me in terms of handing out the awards and the certificates. So we've got a tradition in the exchange every time we do a new listing. On the side over there, you can see a listing wall. Thanks. If you can hold that one for them. Cool. So, Andre, if you can come up, this is the listing certificate for TWK Investments, and we hope you're going to display it proudly. And we hope to follow that listing certificate up with them listing their debt, hopefully sometime in the near future. So we're not just an equity exchange, we've got the right to list debt as well. And we intend launching that part of our business in October.
A box of wine.
That's coming. That's coming. So I was saying we've got a tradition in the exchange, and up until now, anytime someone's listed on our exchange, still got to stay a bit. We've got a wall over there, and on that wall are a series of stars, and those stars have been named, and they're registered in the galaxy. And we hope that every one of our issuers, we name a star in their name, that every now and then, if you're having a little bit of doubt or you're looking for some confidence, go take a walk outside and look up. And if that wonderment doesn't give you the motivation to keep going, then I don't know what will. So I'd like to issue our first star to TWK Investments. If you can come up and get your star and your registration certificate. Thank you. Thanks, Andre. Shot. Then we've got another award today. We're also issuing another star, and this one's for something different. In our journey over the last 2 years, we've had a very important partner who's really gone out of their way. I really think they've cleared the path for us in so many dimensions. We've worked with the underlying Straight as our underlying settlement and custodian of all our securities. They've done a remarkable job over the last 15 years in terms of being that custodian for all the securities traded in South Africa. But more importantly, what they've done for us over the last year in terms of financial market infrastructure development, and what they've done in terms of allowing us to launch an open market and integrate with all the custodians. We just can't speak highly enough. And Greg, if you can please come collect your star. So we've named a star in the galaxy after Straight, and just in recognition and thanks for the supporting financial market infrastructures. Appreciate it. Thanks, Tevin. Then our next star is for our new partner in terms of this journey, and it's for the City of Cape Town. And that's to say we had one registered in the name of Johannesburg, now we have one registered in the name of the City of Cape Town. Premier, are you going to come up and collect it on behalf of the Mayor? I think that was it. Thank you. It's in the Phoenix Galaxy, and it's named the City of Cape Town. But I've got a few more. So we've got one for the province of the Western Cape, and I'm actually hope this is going to end up in Leuvenhof. So I'll tell you an interesting story. When you go to the house in Leuvenhof, there's a little lockbox as you walk in, and that little lockbox is the original treasury box that came off the ship, and it sits there proudly displayed. I'm hoping maybe that the Extra Bright Star gets a position above the original lockbox in the Western Cape.
I'll definitely do that.
Thanks a lot. Sure.
Thank you very much.
So the last one. The last one's just for ourselves, and I think it's a recognition for our journey. So we can't have a star in the sky that doesn't represent the Cape Town Stock Exchange. And hopefully when we look up tonight, we're going to see a new star named after ourselves, burning brightly. And hopefully that becomes the anchor point. With a bit of luck, 10 years from now, maybe it's even burning brighter than Sirius. So thank you all. And yeah, the Cape Town Stock Exchange has a star. And now we'll start a countdown to the open at 9. So we can mingle a bit, and then we'll ring the bell in and ring in our new listing. Thank you. Thanks, Donnie. Cool. Minutes.
Thank you very much. I'll definitely put it above the. That's exactly where I'm going to put it.
Yeah, we can put it above there. It's currently 12. Okay, and it's almost time for the countdown for TWK. We've got Jackie up from Boschendal who'll open up Fonnis out the way. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Meneer, congrats. The stock exchange is open. The Cape Town Stock Exchange. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Shot. Thanks, Tommy. Shot. There you go. A special thanks to Boschendal. They've been superb in terms of supporting us, and it was important for us to have a local produce over here. And Jackie, thanks for coming around and giving us a real opening with a touch of class. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry, JJ, I didn't introduce him, but this is JJ, our honourable chairperson. He's been with the exchange almost since inception. He acts as a sage for me every single day. And JJ will give us some of the closing notes. Thank you, JJ.
Thank you, Eugene. My task is a simple one. My task is really to thank you for, taking your time this morning to attend this event. This is an exciting moment for this exchange. We are launching a brand new exchange in Cape Town after, I understand, 100 years or so. And we are excited, and I must say that despite some of the wobbles that we had at some point in building this business, I am pleased to see people who have stood with us for all these years. We are now looking forward to going from strength to strength. And I must really thank also the Premier for welcoming us to this beautiful province of the Western Cape, the city of Cape Town for supporting us, and that place called what? CITI with many stars. We are really excited now that our business is going to be based here in Cape Town. And I also need to thank TWK and welcome you to this new family. We will erase the memory of where you've been before. We don't even want to mention where you've been before. Welcome. You are joining a wonderful new family. We also want to thank all those companies that have listed on our exchange and have continued to grow from strength to strength. Thank you to also the sponsors who have sponsored this event, Boschendal, Cape Fruit, and also to our partners, Straight, for the support that you have given to this business over the years. I also need to thank Eugene, Estelle, and the wonderful team who've made this event the success it has been so far. Well done, guys. And to the shareholders and the board of Cape Town Stock Exchange, thank you for believing in this business and continuing to back it. I thank you all, and I wish you a safe journey to wherever you are going. And I hope that those who are traveling back to Johannesburg will also travel safely. Thank you very much. And I think breakfast will be served now. Thank you. Who do I?